and they both look gassed. Still running fast, but. There we go with Luke in third. Being
Conval
chased around
fourth.
by Evan Coyne of Conval. Sauhegan's going to be in fifth. And David Reynolds chasing Sauhegan in sixth.
St. Thomas handing off right now.
Aiden O'Hearn with 100 meters to go, maintaining 40 meters. Disaster would have to strike for Concord not to take this. O'Hearn recognized it, looked over his shoulder. Taylor's trying to dig in, but again, 40 meters, a lot to make up in 100.
So that's going to be 8:31, 8:32.
Yep, solid time.
Taylor's finishing in 38.
Yeah, these are solid times, but they're not truly that fast. I think that speaks of the workload that these guys have had and the temperature. It's hard to warm up this many times.
Right.
Oh, battle for
Close
third.
Looks like Conval
takes it, yeah. Co-Brown in fourth. Sauhegan in fifth.
Merrimack
Sauhegan
Valley.
did a great job holding off David Reynolds
Yeah,
in
they did.
Merrimack Valley. All right, we still have teams on the track. Looks Bonnie Eagle will be seventh. Kingswood eighth. Conant ninth. Guessing that's Merrimack in 10th. And looks like St. Thomas and White Mountains still have 200 meters left to go. Girls 4x4, we have 4 sections, as we do with the boys. First section will have Plymouth, Oyster River, Winnicott, Portsmouth, Exeter, and Co-Brown. The fast seed time coming from Winnicott with 4:11:13. Portsmouth in second with 4:12:17, and Oyster River 4:15.
St. Thomas finishing. And White Mountains about 50 meters behind.
Yeah, something
60.
like that. Guy's got a few muscles. Probably from splitting wood. All right.
What's the top time going into this? I know it's
4:11.
not. Okay.
Hey, 6, get out of there. You're on the finish line.
A lot of people crossing the finish line.
Ay, 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 ay.
First rule, don't cross the finish line.
Well, first rule is probably don't get the clerk mad.
That too.
This guy's not going to wear his hat in the 4x4, is he?
Who knows? He might.
All right, we're not going to see the 3-turn stagger. They go with the same zone handoff.
How many heats of this are there?
4.
Okay.
Both genders have 4. I was going to say we're being joined by the Co-Brown athletic director, Matt Skids, but he's running away before he can we can capture him on tape. I would say the model athletic director as well. I know that they've got a sign on one of their buildings that says, I think it says, what does it says? 26 sports, one team. Is that what the motto is? Something like that. We got Liz Danis here, standing outside, finally let out of her cave of the track and field box. They call it a trailer, but it's more like a box, right? I was say a couple bars down, it'd be a jail cell. But I bet you it was chilly sitting around in there because at least we get to move around a little bit.
So this is Winnicott in first, going in 102, Portsmouth, Co-Brown, and Exeter.
Exeter going right around Co-Brown after the handoff. How's your racing going, Liz?
I'm not racing.
At all? Nothing?
I redshirted this.
Well, I know that, but they don't have you doing anything else?
No, I have stress reaction by today.
Ugh. Ugh. That sounds horrible.
It's been a lot of pool training.
Ugh, that sounds even worse. Don't tell me a bike. Are you on a bike?
No, just in the pool.
Oh, I hate the bike. It seems like the bike, like I get on a bike, and a bike, it's a machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I pedal, I should be able to go way faster than I can when I run. But
ends up about the same.
Ends up about the same.
School workouts are harder than his land workouts.
Yeah. All right, Winnicott takes it in the lead, followed by Portsmouth, Exeter, and Co-Brown. Just a reminder that today's Meet Hub is sponsored by Wilhelm Verwey Physical Therapy, your running experts, along with Sarah Fenerty Art. Again, if you get a chance to look at the website, they had a really weird, cool, funky-looking picture of New Hampshire that was done by them. Check it out. Of course, you're going to be going on there to check out results and great footage of today's event, so you'll be able to see it then. All right, we're coming into the final handoff. Winnicott appears to have about 20 meters.
Portsmouth and
Exeter's closing
Co-Brown.
it up. Exeter's closing this up. Who do you guys got on the anchor?
Autumn Agri.
And she's gonna catch Portsmouth, right? Of course she is.
She definitely is.
Definitely is. The front might be a little bit because that's about 25 meters at this point. Not that it can't be done. Big ask, though. But it does look like Portsmouth and Exeter are moving on the front.
Section 2 girls! Section 2 girls!
200 meters to go, and it's only about 12 meters from Winnicott to Portsmouth and about the same back to Exeter.
Go, Kylie!
Coming through is Dave Zink, meet director extraordinaire, I might add. And Winnicott is going to stave off any chases. They're going to go 4:14 or so.
Portsmouth 4:18 and Exeter 4:20.
Co-Brown rounding everything up in the fast heat with a 4:28. All right, our second section, we've got Nashua North, St. Thomas, Nashua South, Bishop Girton, and Bonnie Eagle. And Nashua South has a seed time of 4:21, and Bishop Girton has a seed time of 4:21.24. That would have been horrible if we tripped her on her way out. Violet's heading out on crutches. Today's a tough day to be on crutches because I would think that you crutching across the grass, you're probably digging those things in 5 inches deep.
Yeah, definitely all the mud.
There's that, like Violet was saying earlier, this appears, if you were to look around, more like a cross-country meet than a track meet based on people's shoes and
Yeah.
pants and everything else.
Yeah.
There's no escaping without getting muddy today.
No, definitely not.
I listed off 6 teams, but it looks like we're a few teams short. I'm not seeing St. Thomas.
Yeah, a lot of teams have left the meet already.
Packed up and left.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're missing lane 4 and lane 4, 2 and 4. So what's that? St. Thomas and BG?
Yeah, BG packed up a while ago.
Well, their tent packed up about 3 hours ago when it
flew away.
halfway across the field.
Yeah.
And I don't know whose the next tent was next to it, but that tent went, and the kids that were sitting underneath it just kept sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking, pull your tent down, knuckleheads. Well, Concord. We did. Oh, yeah, we did. Oh. I was going to say, Concord came in second. Forrest had a nice opening leg to his, 60.
Everybody kind of maintained. It was funny, the anchor guy only ran at 2:12, but
Right.
Taylor must have shut it down too because he didn't want to.
Right. That's what we were watching. And you know what? Today's a tough day.
You don't
to-
really notice it here, but when you go over there,
Yeah.
the wind
Come right up over the edge. Well, I think the other thing is it's a tough day to warm up and cool down successively. You know, you do it 2 or 3 times. By the time you get to the 3rd time, your body's sitting there saying, nah, I think I'm all set.
But there's been really no delays. It's been pretty good.
No, yep. So Milford gets the handoff first, followed by South. Bonnie Eagle takes it in 3rd, Nashua North 4th. Yeah, no, it's you know, big meets take time.
Right.
And, you know, I always give the 200 meters a lot of crap because, well, just makes for a good filler for time in between the 8 and the 32 if you need a break. But they were very efficient with those. Lots of times that's what kills you because it's happening way over there. There's just a delay in the timing and starting and all that other
The
stuff.
200, the Devaney, what was her time? I didn't even see any of that.
She didn't break the record.
It was like a 25 or 25 point something.
Yeah.
25
And-
was good though.
Yeah,
She ran at 25:43 the other day.
yeah.
She did really
Tim
good
was
at the
kind of
100.
hoping, I think, that the meet record went down.
Yeah.
But
Who was it? Sarah Hall. Well,
yeah. All right, South has closed it up, and South and Milford are going to take this pretty much dead even. South actually gets a step on Lauren Robinson. Not too many people do that.
Yeah.
And then we've got Bonnie Eagle taking the handoff at 220, and Nashua North 224.
so I was talking to Portsmouth coach Will Fahey. He didn't come out for spring.
No, I was wondering. I hadn't seen Will Fahey anywhere.
How many points is that away from you? Taking a lot of points.
Well, my question is, what did he do? What is he doing instead? Isn't that crazy? All that ability,
Yeah, he
doesn't
was
want to do
Clear
it.
favorite, best
Yeah.
hurdler in the state.
Yep, absolutely. And you'd think, now with Billy Powers gone, who wouldn't want to be there?
Yeah.
All right, coming into the 3rd handoff, into the final third handoff, we've got Lauren Robinson inching past South.
Yeah, they're quite close coming right into the handoff.
And Milford's anchor leg has it with a lead. South about 3 meters back. Bonnie Eagle getting ready to hand off. And North coming in. North is heading out, that's for sure.
Looks like South is still consistently behind
Yep.
Milford.
200 meters to go. If she's going to want to do it, she wants to be on the shoulder by the time she comes off the corner.
Yeah.
See a lot better here, huh?
From out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons. Yeah. Well, you can step out beyond the clocks.
looks like South.
Wow, looks like South. Yep, South has definitely gotten by. Looks like Milford was about 50 meters short of a 400 here. And South will take this over Milford. All right. He's saying final heat. They must have combined because there's 4 in this section and 3 in the next, so I'm guessing they combined. So we're supposed to have Souhegan, Conant, Merrimack Valley, Londonderry, Sanborn, White Mountain, and Kennett. Looks like we have Souhegan, Kennett, Londonderry, and Merrimack Valley. So who's missing? No, there's Conant. Souhegan, Conant, Merrimack Valley, Londonderry, Kennett, Sanborn, and White Mountain. So I'm guessing those 2 teams have pulled and they elected to combine so that they're not running one team in a heat, which would make sense. I've seen that done once only because I can't remember, something got screwed up. Not the way that you want to see a relay go down. Fisto looked pretty good.
Still looks good, huh?
Yeah.
His marching orders were to stay
in the lead. Well, he did that.
Open it up. So I'm sure he could have run a lot faster.
Yeah.
There's a lot unknowns
but the thing
with
is,
him.
yeah, well, and the thing is, again, we were talking about this. Once you get the lead, it's a lot easier to defend it in a 4x8 because, you know, if you can get out and make them start chasing you, if you're leading the handoff with like 10 meters, almost always the next leg on the other team charges out to try to make it up like right away. By the time they catch you with 1 lap to go, you can just take off.
At one point, when Gump had it, he had like a 9-second lead. Handed off to Ryan, it shrunk down to a 3-second lead. Went back up to 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it went to 9 seconds when they went over to me, and I was saying 9-second lead.
Yeah.
Try to get him in his comfort zone. Sometimes that takes the wind out of the other guy.
Right. Absolutely.
9 seconds.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, and if they can't see you, I was saying get around the corner and they can't see you. That makes a huge difference. All right, Conant is leading this heat at the moment.
Pretty big lead.
One of the Drew sisters handing off. Merrimack Valley, then Londonderry, then Souhegan, and then Kennett. Kennett sat right out in their lane waiting, knowing that they were going to get past, I guess. I would have cut in right off the bat. Make them go around you, but I guess if you don't want to get tripped up, maybe that's not the way you do it.
Pretty big lead.
Yep.
Already.
Well, I'm guessing in Souhegan's case, this may not be their A team, because I would think their A team would be a little bit further up the rankings. And it could be just if you're going to run, I mean, because they did have the top seed time in the 4x8. Sometimes those are some of your 4x4 people as well. You're not going to ask them to come back. And
It's a tough comeback.
yeah, and being smart and coaching, you're not going to set your girls up just because they could run a fast 4x4 time and, you know, substitute people in and have them have to try to live up to that standard, so to speak.
2 of the girls actually in their 4x4. This one are coming off of injury right now.
Yeah.
So they're just getting back.
Yep. So Conant takes it with about a 10-meter lead. Is that Romano?
Romano just passed, so that's Lenati.
Lenati, okay. That's pretty solid third leg. I know Conant, that's their 800-meter girl. I think came in second 2 years ago at States. And then it looks like they're anchoring with one of the Drew sisters. Drew sisters, tall, thin, great hockey players. Yeah, they play Team USA hockey and stuff like that. Just normally when you think hockey players, you think big, burly. And one of them's an excellent long jumper, and the other one's an excellent pole vaulter.
Wow.
And they won the 100 and the 200 last year. Each electing for different ones, so they're not competing against each other. Yeah, Yeah.
I
No.
love her more. She beat you, no?
So Conan takes the lead with about 10 meters. And Sauhegan's working hard to make up that distance. I'm wondering if the Conan girl's not accustomed to the 400 because she looks like she just got up to speed.
So
Yeah.
are they twin sisters?
Twin sisters.
Those two right there.
No, this one and the one that's out there.
Oh, Conan?
And yeah, for
Oh,
Conan.
I'm looking at Sauhegan.
Sauhegan,
Those two
yeah.
girls.
Oh,
No, they're not actually sisters. But yeah, they look like they could be. Well, that's why when I asked, I said, "Is that Romano?" And
Yeah,
no,
they look alike.
they do look a lot alike. Well, it definitely looks like the Conan girl got to beyond the halfway mark and says, "I know how to run
Yeah.
this far in," because she is
London-
flying now,
Yeah, Londonderry's
taking over
Sauhegan right now.
Sauhegan. All right, so Conan's going to win this one. Sauhegan's trying to stick with Londonderry, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, that was about a 4:30 for Conan.
Londonderry's going to finish second, Sauhegan third. Merrimack Valley's going to finish fourth, and Kennett will be fifth. All right, in the first heat, the boys 4x4, we got Merrimack, Exeter, Concord, Nashua North, Nashua South, and Merrimack Valley. Fastest time going in is by Concord, 3:26.31. Nashua North seated in at 3:32.40.
Nice.
So that's a 6-second difference. You know, of course, if both those teams are running the same teams that they qualified with those times. But we've seen a lot of swapping going along around
Yeah.
here. And again, with the 4x8 right before this, they could be mixing and matching a little bit.
Yeah.
Considering the Concord guy's not really sure where he's starting from, it might be that he's not quite as familiar with the 4x4
Yeah.
as some of his counterparts might be. Looks like just Exeter electing to go out of blocks. We were discussing earlier how I'm not sure how much of a benefit in a 4x4 blocks
Yeah.
are. I mean, you've got to really know how to use them to make them worthwhile. And at 400 meter speed, it might not be that big a deal.
Yeah, depending on your spikes today, they could be a bit slippery and
Yeah.
that could cost you in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, coming out of blocks demands that you come out of blocks.
Yeah.
I see lots of times the kids will, in the 400, they'll get in the blocks and then the gun goes off and they stand straight up
Yeah.
anyways. You might as well just start standing
Yeah.
at that point. All right. Do we see anybody that's doubling back from the 4x8? I was going to say, yeah, we got the New Hampshire track and field staff blocking our view for broadcasting. I remember Nate when he was, he had just come out for cross country, given up soccer. Still had a little baby scruff growing. Remember that, Nate? Yeah, I bet you do. Remember, we were right next to you guys at New England's up in Thetford. I'm like, man, these guys are obnoxious because you were loud and singing. It was freezing cold, but the sun was out. It was weird. That was a nutty day. If you were in anything but the top 15 places, you were coated in mud. Coated.
Merrimack.
Merrimack coming into the exchange first. Exeter right behind them.
Yeah, nice.
Wow. There we go. Got away without any major smash ups there.
Yeah.
You can tell we're at the end of the day 4x4 because now everybody's standing in front of us.
Yeah, and it's very much cleared up.
Yeah, yeah.
Besides right here.
Sun's coming out, starting to get warm.
Yeah.
I could use to thaw my feet out. They're frozen
Oh
at this
yeah,
point.
same.
So it looks like Exeter coming around the outside of Merrimack and taking the lead with 100 meters to go in this leg.
It's quite a fight for either first and third.
Yep. Winnicott battling with Concord for third.
Yeah. It just, oop.
And they basically took it
at the
dead
same
even.
time.
Yeah. Both looking over the opposite shoulders.
Yeah, it's literally 2 and 2.
Yep. Merrimack's making a strong move around, but that looks very, very fast for 400-meter pace.
Yes, it does.
And looks like Exeter just went back around.
Just hit the move. Looks like they're actually making some distance too, a little bit.
Looks like what, that third leg for Exeter is Radaganya.
Let's go, Nick! Let's go, Nick! Let's go, Nick!
And Exeter takes it with about a 5-meter lead. Concord in third. Winnicott in fourth, right behind them. And then Merrimack Valley.
Yeah, it looks like they came in at like a 2:45. So if they were coming in at like a 3:20 something, they're at like 3 now.
200 meters to go. You got Exeter leading with about 5 meters. It's been a consistent 5 meters for the last 300 meters.
Yeah,
Merrimack going to the arms. We'll see if he can make up any ground.
Yeah.
Looks like he is.
Too.
Can he get around?
Oh, he's right there.
Oh my Lord, this is fantastic race.
Oh, and then Concord and Winnicott.
Exeter will take it.
This fight for third.
Let's go, Owen! Finish it, buddy, finish it!
Concord will be third. Winnicott fourth. Merrimack Valley fifth. All right, in second section we have Conant, Kennett, Winnicott. Oh, they must have already done some reseeding because Winnicott was just in that heat.
Yeah.
So they must have condensed them down to 3, which means these aren't going to be any good. So we'll call this by seeing who steps onto the track.
Yeah.
Out in lane 6, we've got Milford. Lane 5, we've got Bonnie Eagle. I'm guessing that's Trinity in lane 4. Kennett in lane 3. Conant in lane 2. And Portsmouth in lane 1.
It's like 2 of them are using blocks this time.
Winnicott. I didn't think I'd seen that aspect of him.
Bonnie Eagle is flying.
I guess if you're going to come all the way down from Maine, you might as well hit the burners.
They are really flying.
Yeah.
Already with a huge lead.
Well, they were in lane 5, so they're going to look like they got more of an advantage anyways. But they do have a lead too.
Yeah.
Might be tough if you go out super hard too, because it looks like it's windy against you on that backstretch.
Yeah. The wind's been in all directions today.
Yeah. Well,
so the kind of good lead.
Yep. His gamble paid off. They will hand off in the lead, about 10 meters up. And looks like Kennett, Portsmouth, Conant, and Milford.
Yep. And
That's
Trinity.
That's Caleb Kornthal from Milford. He's swinging his arms like crazy. He's a distance kid running the 4x4, and he's already run the mile and the 8, and he was in the fast heat of both.
Yeah, crazy.
Some kids love the work.
Oh, yeah.
Some kids hate it. All right, Bonnie Eagle coming off the corner with 20 meters. It's a little rough, but it's going to stay out. Kennett working to close the gap.
Yep.
Bonnie Eagle will take it first. About 7 liters up on Kennett. Another 7 meters up on Portsmouth. Milford. Conant. And Trinity's not on the lead. Kid just cut in from lane 4. I don't know if he ran his whole lap out there.
Coming down the straightaway now. Does look like Kennett has the lead.
Yeah, Kennett took it over Bonnie Eagle.
We hear that bell as they get about 15 meters on Bonnie Eagle. Portsmouth right behind. Conant in the 4 spot with Milford in 5th. Trinity looking to hand off. Falling a little bit behind the rest of the pack, but we do have a pretty good race going on for first right now.
Yeah.
Again, those top 2 teams would be Bonnie Eagle and Kennett, I believe, with Bonnie Eagle currently leading.
Yeah, they switched off the whole race.
Just the starters right here. Everybody else here.
And they should be able to secure it. Right about that 3:52 mark. Kennett right behind Portsmouth, Conant. So all 4 teams pretty much closed up on each other on that last lap, trying to make it more of an honest race.
Yep. Here's Milford.
Can hear the wind has picked up some.
Trinity coming down now. About a 4:30.
So Bonnie Eagle number 1 with a 3:52.6, Kennett 3:53.4, Portsmouth 3:55.6, Conant 3:58.2, and those 4 teams are the only 4 that made it under the 4-minute mark on that relay. As we move on to our next section. I think this might be the last one. What's it look like?
Yeah, I think they combined a bunch to make it only 3 instead of 4 sections.
So it looks like in lane 1 we should have White Mountains, lane 2 Manchester Central, lane 3 Sauhegan, lane 4 Co-Brown, lane 5 St. Thomas, and in lane 6 we have Plymouth Regional.
Yep, so it's only 3 of those 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, that's one of the things about the Black Bear Invitational. It's done a little bit differently is it's relay city at the end with the 4x8, 4x4 really does test the depth of your team, which is why we'll see some teams a little bit farther back than their seed and some teams opting to drop out. Especially a day like today, it's been a little bit rough, so some coaches may be opting to make it a little bit easier on their athletes at the end of it. But
yeah, I know a lot of, at least my team, at least we had dropped the relays since they were so far into the day.
So coming into the first handoff, looks like it is a pretty close race between Co-Brown and Sauhegan, with Co-Brown having a slight edge. But with a poor handoff, anything can happen. Pretty clean handoff, good cut in. Cole Brown in first by about 6 meters. Does look like Cole Brown is expanding that lead right now. So do you run 4x4s?
I do run a 4x4, yes. I'm out for the most of the season, sadly, but normally I'm in the 4x4.
Looking to come back for cross-country season?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a couple meets in at the end, at the end of this season, but definitely cross-country.
Wyatt Mackey for Cole Brown coming down the stretch.
Made a big league on Sauhegan.
Should be pretty happy with his lap. Cole Brown with another clean handoff. Sauhegan with a clean one. And then White Mountain as well. So those are our 1, 2, 3 teams for this final heat of the day. And so far looks like it's going to kind of stay in this order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cole Brown is just still cruising in the front.
About 600 meters left, though. Anything can happen. I know last week at Merrimack Valley we did see a little bit of some lead changes with the 4x4s just because you have some kids who aren't really used to running 400s, and you might have your fastest be last or in the middle somewhere. And each team kind of opts to do a different strategy. And again, today, strategy is the name of the game with it being 4x4 back-to-back.
Yeah, the 4x8 obviously adds a lot to the meet.
Cole Brown with their final handoff as we hear the bell.
Bet it's 3 minutes there.
Sauhegan handing off. Both teams looking to get under that 4-minute mark. And as our last heat is wrapping up, once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Willem Verwij, Physical Therapy. They're your running experts. Again, can go there, get your gait analyzed, your stride analyzed. They won't try and tweak the way that you run. What they'll do is they'll see some weaknesses, if you have any, and give you some exercises to kind of work with you and work with what you have as Cole Brown enters the final stretch. We'd also like to thank S. Fennerty Art, Sarah Fennerty, local teacher, actually also local artist to the Seacoast, has some phenomenal artwork. You can check out her Facebook page or Etsy page. She does do some custom orders as well if you have a request. So Sauhegan just finishing over that 4-minute mark, couldn't quite squeeze it in.
White Mountain coming down the final stretch. Pretty big kick at the end.
Yeah, it's showing some good speed. One to end on a high note. And with that, once again, this has been NewHampshireTrackandField.com, powered by Runners Alley. Meet Hub today brought to you by the two sponsors mentioned earlier, S. Fennerty Art as well as Willem Verwij Physical Therapy. This has been the 2019 Black Bear Invitational.